Jonesy and Amanda.
Jam Nation.
So I read an article by William McInnes. Well, he first spoke about this story from his life on a podcast for The Guardian, and then I read the story in The Guardian. And it's so good. The story is titled 1979, the year my Wendy Sykes Perm of Love came to grief. And he's talking about how he grew up in Queensland. And he said, the funniest and most terrifying thing happened during the May holidays. My hair was down to my shoulders. I was sent home from school with a letter from one of the sports masters informing my parents that this boy needs a haircut in the appropriate style and length, so he won't be coming back to school until it's cut. William says, my mother used to give us some haircuts all the time, but she was too busy to do it, so she gave me $10 to head down to the shops to get a short back and sides. And
that would have been a bit of money back in 1979.
He's saying here it probably cost about $6, so the $4 for a hamburger and a thick shake or something like that. So he walks in, and where the old Ashley's barbershop was now Ashley's unisex hair salon.
Oh, yeah.
And there was an apprentice. And this was a girl. The apprentice was a girl called Wendy, who he recognised from the rollerdrome. Now, what was the rollerdrome, Brendan? Was this
roller skating rink?
So this is when the four. It wasn't blading. It was the four. That was your forte, wasn't it?
Yeah, I was.
You were a roller skater.
So do you have to say it with such hate in your voice and disdain? Yes, I was. I liked to roller skate, and at school, sure, the teachers would tolerate our roller skating and pretend that we were doing gym. But we're actually roller skating because
your little Linda Ronstadt shorty shorts.
It was a little underground. No, it was
you were underground.
It was a little underground movement of roller skaters. I got a lot of enjoyment out of it.
Well, apparently this was the place to go here as well for William in Queensland. And he'd fallen in love a few years before. He'd just seen her at the rollerdrome.
Yeah,
fell madly in love. So he walks in, sees that she is the apprentice hairdresser. So he says, 3 years later, I walk into Ashley's unisex hair salon for a short back and sides, and I see Wendy, even more beautiful. She smiles at me, and I stare, and she says, hello. She sits me in the chair. She looks at me and says, would you like a perm? Would you like a perm? As she proceeded, I didn't know what a perm was, he says. I just knew I was in love with her. It went on for about 90 minutes, me getting a perm. And I just thought to myself, I'm in so much trouble. It had foils. It had everything. She was doing it as a hairdressing exercise. And when it all came off, my hair just exploded in this sort of auburn beach ball on top of my head.
It looked like a giant afro.
She said, there you go. He said it was the worst hairstyle. It was a tight perm. Those ones that explode. It wasn't a 1980s one. It wasn't. This was like Boogie Nights gone mad.
Yeah.
And I said, oh, my God, I've got a head full of pimples, and I knew I was in trouble. The cost was $27.50. So I said to the guy, I'll give you $10 and I'll come back with the rest. He said, you better come back by 3 o'clock by close of business. He said, oh, my God, I'm going to get killed here. So he walks in and his mother calls out, oh, Jesus Christ. And his father runs in and says, what's happening? And this is what his father said. Christ alive, boy. When I was your age, I was jumping out of planes killing Germans. And for what? He says here the following week was terrible. I had to cut wood for my father to make up for the perm difference. My sister stitched me up saying your acne, your pimples will be better if you wear a hairnet. So I wore it. I had this effing thing on top of my scalp and my father went ballistic. He'd see me come down in my pajamas and my hairnet and he'd see that my mother would say, stop it, Colin. He said, but my Wendy Sykes Perm of Love came to grief when I played a game of club rugby. I was playing third grade. I was a second rower and I ran on with my hair. There was a television show that had recently ended called Welcome Back, Kotter. They had a character called Horseshack. There was a hapless droob with a perm. I got caught in the bottom of the ruck and I heard someone from the opposition say, let's get Horseshack. And my teammates joined in. He said, my perm got pulled every point to the compass. I got up and I thought, is my scalp bleeding? It was a terrible experience. I walked off and stayed in the showers. There was a bloke there, a Fijian fella, who was playing for the team of the seniors of second grade. And he said, William, that hairstyle's not for you. So I shaved it off. At best, I looked like I was recently released from Boggo Road, which is a prison. Yeah. At best, I looked like a collaborator with the Germans at the end of the Second World War. But that was the end of his perm.
perms. Did you ever have a perm?
I had a perm. The one thing you can do if you have a broken heart is change your appearance. And the way you can dramatically change your appearance is to get a different haircut.
Yeah.
I once got a perm, thinking it would be like Meg Ryan with those big, loose, permy curls. It wasn't. It was tight, like old ladies get when they get their hair set.
Yeah.
That's what my perm was like.
Yeah.
Terrible. And once it's done, what can you do? There it is.
So there's nothing you do other than shave your head?
Other than look like you've been in Boggo Road, that's pretty much all you can do.
Yeah.
So many of us got caught in the trap of the perm, lured in by thinking it'd be attractive, and it just isn't.